Alright, so I got one of my arches set up over here at the community garden spot. It's leaning a little bit. I forgot my hammer. This is the one thing about having a community garden spot, is that I don't have the tools here, so forgot my hammer. I can't set it into the ground all the way, so I'm gonna have to come back and do that later. But all I gotta do is pound in a little bit and then we're done with that part of it. But that's gonna be sweet. We're gonna grow watermelon on this little trellis. Sugar baby watermelons. Gotta do another arch in the front, and ooh, it's so hot already. It's only 8 and it's like 90 degrees outside, so I don't know how much more work we're gonna be doing today. Got the second panel up over here. This one's beautiful. This stuff actually looks really good. This is gonna be awesome for our community garden. We're gonna grow cucumbers up this thing. Super excited about that. We got watermelon in the back on that other trellis. Welcome back to the Citystead, everyone. I am Josh. Today I'm taking you down to the community garden. So the little guy, he really wanted to go for a walk. What he really wanted to do was take a nap. So I came over here the other morning to put up these new trellis panels, and these are actually a wire remesh that you can pick up at like a Home Depot in the concrete section. So this is a good alternative if you can't find cattle panels right now, or maybe they're really expensive in your area like Canada. I know a lot of our Canadian friends have trouble getting cattle panels. This is a good option for you guys. So check out the new video on how to make these wire remesh. And yeah, it was so hot that day. I was thinking about coming back here to finish it off and just maybe pull some weeds, and it was just so hot. I ended up taking the kids over to the lake. Are you doing it, Oski?
I almost got up. Almost. I can do it. I can do it all by myself. Find out a way how to do it.
Actually, it's rebar mesh panel. I don't know what you call it. Rebar mesh trellis panel. Rebar mesh panel trellis. I don't know what it is, but I'll link the video to that, how to make these smaller arches that are just as good with a material that is actually more commonly used in hardware and cement work, so it's easier to find at Home Depot, Lowe's, places like that, and it looks just as good. You can paint it up if you want. You can leave it the way it is, which is kind of a little bit of a rusty type of feeling. I painted one, then I left one rusty like it is, because it's not meant to really be out in the open elements. It's meant to be in cement, but it will work, and I think they'll work either way. So what I gotta do right now is pound this other post straight into the ground, attach it a little bit better, and that's it. And I'm going to show you how the progress is coming on this community garden plot. And you can see behind me there's lots of good green, and it's looking pretty decent actually. Monair. This is not. So something that I like to do is I like to attach a tie wrap to the bottom of the T-post when I use a T-post for these. And then I do one toward the top there. It just makes it hold a little better, and the bottoms stay out of the way. They don't kind of curl in on you or anything. So it's just a better way of making sure this arch really holds its good shape. All right, so now we got 2 panels. Really nice, very secure. Like I said, these are a shorter panel that I use, so you can see they're a little bit shorter height-wise, but if I was to put these on a raised bed, they'd be really nice. I don't have raised beds in this plot because it's just an in-ground plot. So we have that right there. But let me show you a little bit. Oh, I guess I should tell you what's over there. So this panel here is actually going to have sugar baby watermelons, and they're actually doing really nice. See right here, it's a good size one. And this one's kind of buried in some of these soybeans I got to pull out. No big deal. I had planted some watermelon here with a sunflower row right there. You can see the sunflowers are all popping up. So we actually might get some sunflowers at our house. They usually all get eaten by the squirrels and birds. So these are surviving fairly well. Our bean plants are looking really good. They're actually getting to the point where they might start producing. These are just bush beans here. I was going to do vine beans, but this is what I had on hand at the time, so they just came down here and got put into the ground. I might come back and do beans, kind of grow into the later in the fall, so maybe we will be back to plant more beans. There is some Swiss chard coming up over here, but it's really hard to show you because it's super tiny. It's just now poking through. Oh yes, a little tiny dwarf moringa. I got this from Rose at Wholesome Roots, actually. I think it might be dwarf, I'm not sure, but I'm really excited about having some moringa over here. That's awesome to see. All right, guy, go on back to the garden and do your job. How freaking awesome is that? So you can see we got some watermelon radish that's just now popping through. I didn't expect too much out of it. We got some okra, it looks like. I finally got a bunch of okra popping up. And then here's some zucchini. This thing's actually bigger than most of the stuff we have at home. That one over there is also zucchini. A couple eggplants. Look at this, there's actually a surviving parsley plant here. At home, this thing would be gone. It would be eaten, because that's what happened to every single parsley I planted this year. Actually, on this front panel that we built, we actually got cucumbers growing, and they're going to be hitting this vine, hitting it pretty soon. This one's almost there already, and we got a couple over here. A couple eggplants right out the front. So actually, when you look at the front of our plot here, you can see our marker. And we have a panel, and we kind of walk in, and the center of the plot is pretty open. I didn't really plant anything in there. I probably will come back and do like fall type stuff. But for now, I wanted to kind of do all the outside edge to see what I could grow on it. And like I said, I wanted to have a little extra space for fall type gardening in the middle. So let's go walk through there and see the other stuff. Look at that. This is the first tomato out of all the tomatoes that we have between home and here. Just a teeny tiny tomato. Ooh. A really nice basil plant. It's doing great. A couple more tomatoes that are putting flowers out, getting there. So the squash plants that I planted at this base of this little teepee here are just starting to shoot out some little climbers. And that makes me excited because that means I can start wrapping it up around here pretty soon, and then it'll shade out these cabbages, and hopefully, since they still look like a really nice condition, we'll actually get a cabbage head on these. That would be super great because cabbage is another thing we have a trouble with actually growing back at the Citystead. So I'm actually seeing a ton of benefits to having the secondary space at the community garden where they have a big giant wall to protect them from groundhogs. It looks like everything back here. You can see some collards doing great, squash over there doing good. Nothing looks to be eaten. It looks like we're doing really good with pest. And one of the best things about this, I've actually only watered this well, I didn't water it personally at all. I planted on a day that it rained, and then 5 days later it rained again really good. And that's all the rain that's ever happened down here. Oh, we actually have a little eggplant flower. Eggplant actually has a really nice flower too. Look at that. I won't do it justice on this video, but eggplant flowers are very, very pretty.
Don't let me take too long here. I've got a lot of things to do. These days are passing by me. I'm staring blindly at the view. I woke up one day older, just like 10,000 days before. And all at once I'm hearing a quiet knocking on my door.
So when I was talking with the guys before we got this place, that was going to sit empty, right? So they weren't expecting anybody to be here. And I thought what was really cool is that they actually cover crop it. So there are a lot of sugar beets and soybean kind of scattered throughout here that he tilled back under for us before we planted. So I have had a little bit of time to come over here. I got to pull out a lot of those. I might actually leave a couple if I see a couple getting too big. Just, I don't know, well, I'll let them produce. Why not? But I'm super impressed with this area right now. It just looks so good. It actually looks better than some of the stuff we have back home, and that's been in the ground a lot longer than this stuff. And I did starts over here and then a mix of seeds, just because of being late in the season. Things like tomatoes, we're definitely not going to grow from seed here. Same with like eggplants, something that's really long, the peppers. So I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm really excited at how this is going and how it's looking. And you can see this is just a beautiful little garden space for us. So I'm super pumped at how everything's looking. And I'm going to set a couple tomato cages in here for probably the pepper and one of the eggplants here that's looking kind of on the big side. And then I'm going to get out of here because Oski, he still wants to finish his, walk his nap. We've been here for almost 20 minutes now, and yep, still sleeping. He's wearing his favorite little Batman shirt. He's just adorable. All right, off we go. Cannot walk down this way without stopping at this mulberry tree. Trying to pick as many mulberries as we can.
Hey. Hey.
Are those mulberries? Can you say mulberry? Oh, just a little afternoon foraging. Mulberries, black raspberries. That is an update of the community garden spot, guys. Look how productive it is already. Already looking nice. And that's only 8 foot by 23 feet. you guys, if you are not part of a community garden, you should probably think about it. Like I said, it's working out really nice for me because there's a few things here that I'm having real trouble with back home. So I know I'm going to at least have a chance of getting it because I have some over here. But that's all I got. That's a little update, you guys. Remember to be bold and grow bold. And as always, we're going to see you in that next video.